Hi, this is Kaden Chang from VIA Value Investing Academy. Now this video is going to be the final installment of all the series of 4 videos that we have spoken. Now, but let's do a very quick recap. Now in video number 1, I was sharing the video at Bandung, Indonesia, talking about how companies eventually got listed in the stock exchange so that you can buy and sell in this business. So the second video, we talk about how to open 2 investment accounts. One is an online brokerage account. One is a CDP account, which is a central depository account. And in the third video, we talk about the common concerns that people have. And predominantly, we focus on 3 investment myths, and we have busted these 3 investment myths in our previous video. So if you're watching this video right now and you're feeling, okay, so right now, everything is fine, I've got the money. So how do I get started? I just want to let you know that in any investment, it requires some form of investment knowledge, even you have money. So I want to imagine that if you have money and you do not have any investment knowledge and yet you invest, is as good as gambling. So that is really, really dangerous. So our intention is to minimize your risk by having good knowledge and then increase your return. So how do I get started? Come. Now, remember, behind every stock is a business. So in other words, when we are buying a stock, we are actually buying a piece of a business. So let's say right now I own a stock, like maybe 100 McDonald's stocks. So McDonald's is right outside selling burgers and so on. So how can I benefit from buying a stock which belongs to, which is created by McDonald's? Now, there are 3 sources of passive income that can be generated by investing in stocks. So let me start with the long term. And the long-term passive income is also known as capital appreciation. So sometimes you hear people saying that, oh, I need to buy low and then sell high. Now, when you buy low and sell high, the difference that you make is called capital appreciation, or sometimes people call it capital gain, which means the same thing. And if I could use an analogy, it's like buying a property, let's say a condominium, a land and so on, and you hold it for a huge number of years, and then one day when the land price goes up, you sell it away. So you buy low, sell high, capital appreciation or capital gain. So this is the first source of passive income. Now, but there are always some people who say, hey, long term is really long, but I needed money in the next couple of months. So is there any way I could get money out of it? So the second source of income, which is middle term, such that you can get it on a quarterly basis, is called dividends. Now usually big companies such as McDonald's, Starbucks, or blue chip companies such as DBS Bank or SIA, they pay out dividends. And remember, only a good company that has excess cash pay out dividend. So in other words, if you buy a bad company, they're going to bankrupt soon, or they owe a lot of debtors a lot of money, there is no way they can find cash and pay as a dividend. So remember, long-term capital appreciation and mid-term there's dividend. Now, there's one thing which I personally like, and Warren Buffett does it, is the third source of income called collecting of premiums. And where do they get this premium from? Now, if you look at insurance, whenever insurance agents sell an insurance policy, they collect premium. So if they sell on a weekly basis, every week they collect premium. If they sell on a monthly basis, every single month they collect premium. Now, in the case of a stocks, and we specifically only talk about the US. Why? It's because in US we have this kind of exchange called the options exchange. But unfortunately in Singapore we don't really have option exchange, so you cannot really buy and sell options in Singapore. So in other words, you can only buy and sell options in the US exchange. Yep. So how it works is, remember, if you want to collect premium, what you need to do is you just need to sell the insurance policy. And in our case, we replace insurance policy by something that is equivalent, and we call them options or stock options. So in other words, if every single week we can sell stock options, we'll collect weekly income. If every single month we are able to sell stock options, we'll be able to collect monthly income. So investment is not really long term. Now, investment is long term plus mid term and short term, in which I've stated here, 1, 2, and 3. So right now, you might say, hey Kaden, right now I need to have 3 sources of passive income. So how do I get started? So let me share with you the overall process, how you can get started. So I'm going to use a simple acronym called SEGA to guide you how you can get started investing. Now, if you look at this SEGA, if you're at my age, it probably remind you of a name of an old game machine called Sega machine. So right now we have like Super Nintendo, I'm not sure what we have right now, but Microsoft Xbox. But in the early days during my time, we have this Sega machine, so SEGA. So how do we get started? Now, in order for us to invest in the stock in the first place, we need to know where to search for the stocks. So S stands for search. So to give you a quick tip, one way to search for Singapore stocks is you can go to the SGX. So you can use Google. you can simply Google SGX, which is Singapore Stock Exchange, and you type in this word stock facts, F-A-C-T-S. Yep. So when you Google this, you should see SGX and then stock facts, and then you just click on the first link. So what it does is, on this website itself, there is a screener. There's a screener. You can just play the numbers, just play with some of the features. You'll realize that every time when you alter some of the features, the list of stocks right at the bottom, it changes. So how do we search for a stock? There are many ways. One of the ways is to use a screener. So just in a couple of minutes, you'll be able to screen just a few stocks out of 700 or 800 Singapore stocks. Really very amazing. Search. So let's say you use step number 1, you use the screen over here, and then after a couple of minutes screening, you found some stocks. And let's say the stock is Toastbox or BreadTalk to be specific. Now BreadTalk, everybody know, you drink coffee, you buy bread, so BreadTalk. So once you found BreadTalk, is it really a good company? So we go through a second process called evaluate. So we need to evaluate whether the company is good or bad. So now the question is, how do we know whether the company is good or bad? We predominantly look at a few factors, and let me list down one by one. So for the first factor that we're going to look at is the company profitable? Remember, we want like dividends, for example, as a source of passive income. So only when a company is profitable, they make money, then they have spare cash to give it to you. So one criteria is very important, is the company must be profitable. The second factor that we're going to look at is the company must be efficient in making money. Now, some companies, they do make money, but what if they make money really slowly? In other words, the money they're going to give you is going to be really slow, and the amount in terms of dividend is going to be really small. But what we want is, we want companies that make money really quickly. So in other words, they are highly efficient in making money. So a company may be profitable, a company may be very quick in making money, but there's one factor that we need to focus on, is this thing called debt. Now, have you come across friends or people that you know that make tons of money, maybe more than $10,000 per month, but they buy expensive things, they drive big cars, they stay in big house, and then eventually they work their entire life trying to pay off all the debt, the loans, the interest payment of their houses, cars, and so on. So for a company, it's the same thing. Even if the company makes good money, they make money very quickly, we want to make sure that the company has very little debt or almost no debt. That would be ideal. Then we are talking about a really good company. So once we have found a company via a screening process, which is a search, and we have evaluated that the company is really profitable, it makes good money, and they're really quick in making money, highly efficient, and they owe very little or no debt. Now, do we buy this company? The answer is no. Because no matter how good a company is, we do not buy a company at infinite price. So our intention is to buy something that is really good and is really cheap. So how do we know if the company is cheap or not? So we used the third process called gauge. Now, if you're watching the video right now, I just accidentally saw that there's a spelling error. So you can see some changes over here. But let's back to this gauge. So in order to gauge the intrinsic value, we really need to use a tool. And the time in this video is really too short for me to explain the exact process of how gauging is. But if I could summarize, what it simply means is we want to estimate how much the stock is worth using certain tools that we're going to share with you later on. So in other words, we need to estimate how much the stock is worth. So let's say a stock is worth $5, let's say $5 using whatever mathematical formula that we have. So our intention is to buy the stocks below this $5. So if you buy the stock below this $5, it's considered as undervalued. So if we buy the stock at the price of $5 or very close to 5, it's considered fair value. And the silliest thing that we can do is we buy the stock above $5. It is called overvalue. And one of the key reasons why people lose money is because they buy an overpriced stock, even though it could be a blue chip stock, a good stock, and so on. This is one reason. The second reason is they may buy certain things cheap, but accidentally they buy a lousy company. So what we want is we want something good and cheap. We do not want something that is bad and cheap. Yeah. So remember, good and cheap. So let's say we have searched for a company, we have evaluated that the company is good, we have buy the company which is undervalued below $5. So what does A stands for? Now A stands for asset portfolio. Now, ultimately, when you invest in stocks, you wouldn't pour all your money into one single stock. That is very dangerous because in case you make a mistake, that's it, all your money. So let me demonstrate what I mean by asset portfolio. Now, beside me, a small little toys, maybe the camera you can't really see. So one of my NLP graduate gave me a small little statue of this. This is, everybody would know this, Wonder Woman. And this is Batman. Okay, the second statue. And the third statue is Superman, which is one of my favorite. Now, so all these superheroes form a team, they call themselves Justice League. If you watched the movie a couple of months ago, you will know this Justice League. How does Justice League got to do with asset portfolio? Now remember, when we invest, we do not put all our money into one stock because in case that stock falls sick, or in case a competitor outwit or outbid this company, then that's it. Which is why we need to have a Justice League equivalent in the world of investing. So that if one hero falls down or is beaten by a competitor, there's always another superhero or there's always another third hero. So what we want is we want a team of superhero stocks in our portfolio so that at night we can sleep comfortably, because if something happened to one stock, we still have the rest to take good care of the one that falls sick. So let's do a very quick recap before we end this video. Number one, in order for us to invest, make sure that you know a mechanism of searching for the stocks. Next one, make sure that the company is good by going through an evaluation process, looking at the profitability, efficiency as well as low debt. And third, make sure that you gauge the intrinsic value. And lastly, form a superhero team just like Justice League or maybe the Avengers, so that if one stock didn't do well, the rest of the stock will do well. So in short, if I could leave you a quote, is investing, there is no such thing as a risk-free or zero risk. So our intention is to have knowledge, put everything properly so that we have low risk and high return. Yeah. So the intention is simply to have less wrong and more right. So after watching this series of video, I just want to let you know that we have a couple of masterclass coming in this coming few weeks, and what you will learn is you will learn in detail what are the ways you can search for a stock. This is point number one. What are more ways in detail, the exact criteria of how you can evaluate a stock, and eventually I'm going to share with you the amazing tool that we created, how we can estimate how much a company is worth at the third step, and lastly, how to form a superhero team of stocks. So right at the bottom of this email, there will be a button. What you need to do is just click on it and you will be led to another page where you can register for our free value investing masterclass. Remember, in this free value investing masterclass, not only will share with you all these 4 ways, we'll share with you more information of how you can generate 3 sources of passive income, which is capital appreciation, dividend, and selling of options. And I look forward to seeing you, and thank you for watching my video. This is Kayden Chang from VIA Value Investing Academy. Goodbye, see you.